Hey guys, FoxyNixon here, bringing you a couple of very interesting Wi-Fi battles that I had against this enormous scrub that appeared in the Pokemon Battling Club a couple days ago. And basically what he was just, I'd never seen this guy post before ever in the club. And he said, "Hey, who wants to have a wager battle with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, because I'm tired of seeing these guys pop up and having these dumb wager battles." So I decided to go ahead and crush one. He says, "Well, hey, do you want to have a wager battle?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." And he's like, "Okay, if you win, then you get one of my flawless Kalos shinies." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And what happens if I lose? I'm like, "Well, then you have to give me one of your shinies." And I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." And then all the guys in the battling club were like, "No, he's not going to give you anything." I'm like, "Yeah, be that as it may, I still want to beat this guy and get him to be quiet." So let's just start off this Wi-Fi battle. But first, I have to say, this guy is totally a scrub, and you'll definitely see why towards the end of the battle here. So let's get it started. Initially, I lead out with my Choice Banded Infernape, and he's going to lead out with a really strange Greninja set. I believe it's one of the more support-like sets, even though it appears to be more offensively based. So I'm definitely not going to want to stay in there against a Greninja, Scrub or not. And I'm going to bring in my Rotom, predicting either a Hydro Pump or a Scald. But he actually goes for the Toxic Spikes, which surprised me quite a bit. And so you usually don't see Greninja as a support Pokemon. But apparently, at first I thought this guy was maybe not so much of a scrub because he went straight for the U-turn. And I'm like, wow, this guy actually went for U-turn like he's supposed to on a Rotom. I just went straight for the Hydro Pump to try and deal some good damage to him if he went for, Dark Pulse. Apparently, that's not the case, though. He actually switches out into his Haxorus. And this Hydro Pump is going to do a decent chunk to it, but not nearly enough to warrant me staying in. So I'm definitely going to be switching out into my Mandibuzz. And for some reason, this guy just ends up going for the Poison Jab. And then I end up getting, as Martin would say, the Poison Hacks. And if you predicted my Mandibuzz like that, man, this guy is a freaking wizard. So unfortunately, I do get poisoned by the Poison Jab. But I know, and that's definitely going to limit some of my Mandibuzz's longevity. But I don't know why he ends up going for the Dragon Dance, even though Mandibuzz, like mine, tend to carry Foul Play. And I carry Foul Play, especially for things like this. But I was actually going for the Toxic, predicting him to switch out, as he just ends up going for the Dragon Dance. The following turn, I believe, he ends up going for the Dragon Claw, which my Mandibuzz just totally eats up. And then I'm going to smack him back with a Foul Play and one-hit KO him because that Hydro Pump damage definitely ensured that I would be getting this knockout. So the Haxorus is down. That's one threat out of the way that I don't have to worry about with Rotom anymore. Now, I believe he goes into his Greninja. If he doesn't, that's going to be extremely embarrassing for me. So, yep, he does go into his Greninja. I definitely feel like I could save this Mandibuzz for fodder later. So I'm going to be switching it out and going into my Rotom to eat up a Scald or Ice Beam or whatever he goes for. Turns out that he does go for the Ice Beam, so it's a good thing I switched out there, but do I get frozen here? Nope, I don't. That's some other time. Anyways, now I can threaten him with either the Hydro Pump or the Volt Switch or the Will-O-Wisp if I really want to get some residual damage on this thing. And it turns out that he's just going to be ballsy and stay in and go for the Dark Pulse. And that's going to do a hefty chunk to my Rotom. I was not expecting it to do that much because this is more of a bulky Rotom EV spread. I think I'm pretty much entirely invested in HP, and that shouldn't have done nearly that amount of damage. So I'm going to be getting Rotom out of there to possibly Pain Split on something that's slower than Rotom later, and then I'm going to end up going into my Conkeldurr to eat up a Dark Pulse or any kind of special hit And now I get the Guts boost, which is really awesome for me because I'm poisoned thanks to his Toxic Spikes. Clearly he wasn't thinking ahead. And he's just going to U-turn on out of there. And then, what was the other thing that he went into? I believe, well, let's see. I'm going to have to look and see again because I've forgotten. Oh yeah, his Talonflame, duh. This was one of the, probably the biggest threat on his team. And now that two of my walls that counter Talonflame are pretty much dead, I have very little hope against defending against its onslaught. So I'm going to go into my Rotom just to fodder it off. And my plan is that I'm going to be going into Aegislash, so I can King Shield on his predicted Flare Blitz, because I still didn't... I thought maybe this guy is okay, but it's too risky for me to do anything else, so I'm going to be forced to go into my Aegislash, King Shield on the predicted Flare Blitz, and then I'm going to end up smacking him with a Shadow Ball. And thankfully he does go for the Flare Blitz, gets the -2, and then I'm going to be able to one-hit KO, I believe, his Talonflame after it takes the recoil from Flare Blitz. So that major threat is out of the way. If I hadn't got rid of it, it probably would have swept through the rest of my team and resulting in a very embarrassing loss. Although I'm kind of questioning where this guy got all of his sets from, because he seems to kind of know how to use them, but it was really his last 2 or 3 Pokemon, I believe, that showed that he was totally a scrub. He's now going to go into his Greninja, try and threat me out with the Dark Pulse. Of course, I'm going to King Shield, stall him out a little bit with the Burn, and he's, of course, going to go for that obvious Dark Pulse like I thought he would. But he's going to end up taking a little bit of that burn damage. And now I know that I just need to stall out this Greninja a tiny bit more before I can bring in my Conkeldurr and just start wrecking everything on his team. So here, of course, like I said, I'm going to bring in my Mandibuzz. It's going to be death fodder, of course. But surprisingly, I was actually surprised at how bulky Mandibuzz was on the special side, and it just ate up that Dark Pulse like it was nothing. And now I get an extra turn of... Actually, no, I don't, because I go down to Poison. So then, that means I can now go into my Conkeldurr, and I can just start Mach Punching all the things, or Drain Punching all the things. And... oh, no, I lied. I lied, of course. I'm going to go into my Aegislash and Shadow Sneak, because I know I can kill him for this range. I don't know why I said that I would go into Conkeldurr. I think I'm thinking a couple turns ahead. Anyways, I am going to knock out the Greninja, thankfully. Since I'm... am I Life Orb? Yes, I am Life Orb. Okay. I know that I can definitely knock him out there. And this was... in the following turns here, this definitely showed me that the guy was a scrub, because he went for the Thunder Wave on my Aegislash instead of just outright... air slashing me, which probably would have knocked me out from that range, meaning that I can get off a nice bit of damage with a combination of Shadow Ball and Shadow Sneak before he knocks me out with the air slash. And I was praying to the gods that he would not go for Roost on this turn, because if he did, this guy would have been freaking amazing. But thankfully, he doesn't, and he just ends up going straight for the Flamethrower and knocking me out, which is something that he probably should have done in the first place, because I really had no other use for my Aegislash now that it had taken care of the Talonflame. So here, I believe... yep, I go into Infernape, and then I'm going to go for... I keep on saying Conkeldurr this whole match, and really I have an Infernape. So I'm going to Fire Punch his Togekiss, because I know I outspeed it, unless I ran some hacked set. I don't know how that would have gotten through in the first place. But anyways, this man is going to go into his Lucario, which, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact not a regular Lucario. It is a Mega Lucario, which we all know is banned in OU, but apparently this man doesn't care about tiers or anything like that. But anyways, I'm just going to go straight for the Fire Punch and knock him out anyways. So that was really just a big waste of time for the both of us. And I believe on his last his last Pokemon, which is his Smeargle, you'll see why this man is a total scrub. I don't know why he was trying to drag out this battle. I really do not. He just goes for the King Shield. I'm like, dude, I have Conkeldurr and an Infernape. What are you... I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. Maybe he was hoping that I'd get frustrated and rage quit. Oh yeah, and he also has Moody, by the way. So there we go. That's something else that's banned. That shouldn't even be in here. So I'm gonna, even with the -2, that Fire Punch still did way over half. And clearly you can see now that this man is using the lock-on set. The lock-on, you know, the lock-on set with Sheer Cold or Zap Cannon and King Shield or whatever the heck else he has, Sticky Web, I don't know. And I finally decided, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm going to go straight into my Conkeldurr. I don't really care if he knocks it out with a one-hit KO move, because I still have Infernape that I can knock him out with, and a myriad of other things on my team. So now I think he knows that at this point that the battle is over, and I'm just going to go straight for the Mach Punch. I don't remember. Yeah, he knows that it's over, and I'm just going to go straight for the Mach Punch and knock him out, because he knows there's nothing he can do. Oh yeah, he has a Rocky Helmet. Usually, I've never seen that on a Smeargle before. But all the same, weird set, and that was just the first of 2 battles we had where I absolutely annihilated him. This is the second one, where I believe it ended up being a 5-0? I don't know, we'll see. So I have the basic idea of what his team's like now. I'm going to send out my Heracross predicting his Greninja, and this is not your regular old Heracronite or Mega Heracross. It's actually a Choice Scarfed Heracross, and I'm going to smack him with a close combat real quick to get in that surprise KO, and perhaps the Moxie. Actually, no, duh. Of course, I'm going to get the Moxie boost. What am I talking about? So that Greninja is going to go down straight away, turn 1, threat out of the way. Now I get the Moxie boost so I can smack just about anything pretty hard that comes in. And this man brings in his Avalugg, and I'm like, okay, dude, come on, really? Are you kidding me right now? Avalugg? I mean, I don't want to stay in on it because I know he could probably smack me with an Avalanche and do a ton of damage. But even still, that would have brought him down to at least sturdy range. But anyways, I want to save my Heracross for later, and you guys will see why. And I'm going to bring in my Rotom to smack him on the special side, or possibly even burn him. I believe I predicted him to stay in, so I go for the Hydro Pump, I think? No, Will-O-Wisp. But it doesn't really matter anyways, because I end up missing. So, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get the heck out of here. Volt Switch out, and I believe... What is it that I go into? I go back into... See, this is Venusaur, duh! Because Venusaur just totally walls this Florges. And this is actually my favorite type of Venusaur ever. It's my Mega Venusaur, which absolutely destroys everyone and everything that you love. Especially Florges. So, he, knowing that I'm probably packing the Sludge Bomb, otherwise I wouldn't have brought in Venusaur like this, he's going to switch into his Talonflame, which is not going to appreciate the Sludge Bomb whatsoever. Mega Evolve into that awesome Mega Venusaur there. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I'm going to smack him up real quick with a Sludge Bomb, which is going to do a good, huge chunk of health to him. I think it does just about half. And so, but of course I know I can't stay in here and live a Brave Bird, so I'm going to go back into my Rotom. He's going to go for the obvious Brave Bird. He's not really in a position to make any fancy predictions. So I can just go straight into my Rotom safely and Volt Switch on out, or Hydro Pump, or do whatever the heck it is that I want to. That Talonflame is not nearly as much of a threat this battle as it was last battle, but it was definitely still a problem that needed to be addressed. And I guess now he was just sacking his his Talonflame because he knows that he doesn't have any other use for it at this point since it's so low on health. Even though I do think it would have been wise for him to keep it around, apparently he didn't think so, so I'm going to end up straight knocking out this Talonflame, and then I go back into, I believe, my Heracross, because it's choice scarfed and I can outspeed just about anything that he has on his team. Nope, I go into Aegislash to predict. Oh, that's why, because I have the King Shield and I can use King Shield to see what he's going to be going for. This man goes for. He has Thunder Wave on his. He has Thunder Wave on his Dragon Knight. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? And then I go and I hit him with a Shadow Ball, which is going to do a nice chunk. And then that's going to allow me to break his multi-scale. And I also get this special defense drop, which is fantastic. And now I'm going to switch out my Aegislash, and I'm going to bring in my Mandibuzz, because it's kind of the same idea that I had with Haxorus. You know, I can eat up any one hit that he wants to go for and then knock him out with Foul Play. That was my idea, at least. And I believe he actually ends up staying in, and Mandibuzz also just eats up that Thunder Punch like it's nothing, doesn't even do half at +1, and then I'm going to go for the Foul Play, and I'm pretty sure this knocks him out. If it doesn't, I would be amazed. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's good. So, get that nice leftovers recovery, and then he's going to bring in something that's going to try and counter my Mandibuzz with the Moonblast, which we all know is a Florges. Hopefully, I think he was hoping that he could probably scare me out and get a Wish off, which I believe he ends up doing. Oh no, he ends up going for the Toxic. Never mind. But now we're back to the same position that we were at before, where I have the Venusaur in, and I can threaten him out with the Sludge Bomb. So now he's going to go into his Avalugg. I really don't know why, since this thing does not take special hits at all. It takes special hits about as well as a paper bag. We're predicting him to switch out into something else. I'm going to go straight for the Leech Seed, get some just get some recovery on that in case I need it. I'm going to go for the Sludge Bomb, try and knock him out in a couple hits, because I know, because of my thick fat, he can't really do a whole lot to me. Even though this Avalanche actually does a decent chunk. I wasn't expecting it to do that much damage, but maybe Avalugg is a lot more powerful than I'm giving it credit for. Even still, I'm going to go straight for the Giga Drain after this, hopefully to knock out the Avalugg, and then face whatever it is that he's going to go into, because I know he can't touch me with anything that this Avalugg has. It's really just a losing battle at that point between the Avalugg and the Mega Venusaur. So, he's going to bring in his Gengar. And you guys know what kind of Gengar this is? That was also banned by Smogon, possibly Mega Gengar, right? Yes, it is Mega Gengar, which I was furious about. I'm like, dude, come on, really? So he's going to go for the Hypnosis. The Hypnosis. I was half expecting him to have Dream Meter as well on this set. This whole battle frustrated me. No, just the guy in general was frustrating. So I'm sleeping, and I'm going to be sleeping for a couple turns. He's just going to go for his Shadow Ball, and then he's going to hit me, and then I'm going to be asleep. And then he's going to hit me again with another Shadow Ball. Yeah, come on. Go. Yep. He's going to smack me again. And I'm like, oh, hey, that's nice. I wish I could have maybe have gone for the Synthesis, but then he would have put me to sleep anyways. Again. So I just end up going for the Leech Seed in case he did, I don't know, get a crit or a special defense drop on me, since I can't switch out anyways. So I'm just going to get a little bit of HP back. Not that it really matters. Because he's going to end up knocking me out with another Shadow Ball anyways. So now I'm going to go into Heracross, and this is why I wanted to save Heracross, to outspeed his stupid Mega Gengar and Earthquake the heck out of it, get the Moxie boost, and then proceed to sweep from there with Earthquake. I know Earthquake isn't stabbed on Heracross, but it's still a force to be reckoned with, especially when you're running around with a Choice Scarf. So I was actually expecting this Florges to knock out my Heracross with a single Moonblast after I went for this Earthquake here. And it turns out that actually Heracross is able to live it on like 10 HP. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. So I'm going to finally be able to knock out this stupid Florges with another Earthquake, and that's going to be the battle. After this battle had happened, I went back on to the Pokemon Battling Club to see what this man was doing. And apparently he blocked me, deleted his thread, and then left the Pokemon Battling Club. So, all this to say is, just don't waste your time battling scrubs, guys. I mean, as funny as it is, it can also be frustrating. I guess that's the moral of the story for today. So, I'll be sure to be uploading more videos soon, depending on how popular these get. I have no idea what the future of my channel is going to be like, but we'll be seeing soon, I suppose. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.